Welcome everybody. Sorry about this. Welcome everyone to the video opinion of the mini-series from Netflix, Behind Her Eyes. On this video I'm gonna explain briefly the ending, that plot twist probably nobody expected, a lot of details the series give us when we are watching but we don't realize, and theories. At the moment, don't worry, I won't say any spoilers. The spoiler warning will be in about 1 minute. On screen right now you will see the minutes I will start to explain the ending and the details, but before that I like to explain a little bit of the series in case someone would like to see it. So this series, Behind Her Eyes, is, said by Wikipedia, a British noir supernatural psychological thriller web series. That's quite a name. From 0 to 10, I would recommend this series 6.57, only for that ending, only for the plot twist, because some episodes are a little boring, but only for that ending, it is worth it to watch it, the entire series. I would recommend this series also for the photography. The photography is amazing. For Eve Hewson, sorry if I mispronounce her name, you can see on screen right now. She is amazing on this series. And also for Robert Aramayo, who plays Rob. If you know, you know. Now, yes, it's time for spoiler alert. Please, if you haven't watched this series, please stop watching this video, skip it, watch the series and then come back, because like I said before, that plot twist at the end, it is so worth it. If you are still here, it's because you've seen all the series and you want to know that ending, that plot twist explained, and those details. First of all, I'm gonna explain all the details. The series spill like little drops through practically every episode. Some of these details I realized meanwhile I was watching the series, but most of the details I could figure it out thanks to YouTube channels and the comments from the people, because there are a lot of talent on social media. This is why I like also to read comments on YouTube, on social media, and in forums about series or films, because you can, thanks to other people, you can see details you couldn't see, or you can interpret the film or the series in other perspective you couldn't, and that's so interesting. The first detail I think is very explicit, and is the change of behavior on Adele. The Adele we see on the flashbacks is not the same we see in the current Adele. You could think, of course, she has lost her parents on the fire and nobody will have been the same after that trauma. But something was so off on Adele after that, but you couldn't say what or why. Even the relationship with David, her now husband, has completely changed. The way they speak to each other, the way they look into their eyes is totally different, like we saw on those flashbacks. Totally different. I apologize if the pictures don't link with the topic I'm explaining, but I'm a little bit chaotic. Sorry about that. I apologize if the pictures are not linked with the topic I'm talking about, but I'm a little bit chaotic, so I'm sorry about that. Another clue on the series that something is off with the current Adele is, in this case, is very subtle, very tiny detail. Is the current Adele Adam, does like to cook. Even she's so good cooking, but we see on the flashback the true Adele, she can't cook. She doesn't like even cook. Another detail, another clue, but actually it's not a clue because it's in front of our faces. Like I said before, is the change in the personality of Adele. Another detail clue is not even a clue because it's in front of our faces. Is the change on Adele's personality. When you are watching the TV series, you can think, you can even justify the Adele's personality on the present due to the trauma of losing her parents. You think, of course, a person is not the same after losing a relative, after losing a loved one. But you can tell something is very off on the current Adele. And it's because it's not Adele, it's Rob. The real Adele is the one we see on the flashback, the Adele with the long hair, the one we are seeing on screen. The real Adele is easygoing. She has a bubbly personality. She trusts people. You can see on screen. You can trust people. She's saying to Rob. The one who doesn't trust on people is Rob. This one is a little bit complicated. On the flashback, Rob, you can see Rob on the right side of screen, explains to Adele he struggles with night terrors. As a kid or as an adult, I can't remember. I think as an adult as well. In the other hand, Adele says to Rob, well, I don't have problems sleeping. Well, I don't sleep that much. Afterwards, we know she doesn't have problems sleeping. She was referring, she travels through astral project, but at this time, because they were meeting, Adele and Rob, they were meeting each other, they were knowing each other, she couldn't say to him, look, I can traveling through astral project. No, so that's why she says to him, well, I don't sleep that much. It's like an excuse. The next two pictures are about Louis's dreams. For me, are truly a masterpiece. The cinematography is amazing. A lot of people even have explained how these dreams foreshadowing what Louis is gonna live. Probably her own subconscious was explaining to Louis to stay away from Adele and from David, most from Adele's. See? The fire. The fire Rob provokes that killed Louis. On the comments I will explain the dreams because it's so interesting, but right now I can't remember. Another clue, another hint, you can even see it on the cover of the series, is the color of the orbits. If you check the cover of the series again, you can see the green orbit that comes from Louis. The orbit from Louis is green. So that's why it's so hard to see the swap in Adele's and Rob's orbits, because Adele's is, I think, blue and Rob's is violet, very similar colors. Louis is green, and you can see on her clothes are always related to green, or she always wears something green. And if you check the decoration of her house, the prominent color is green, or shades of green. The following pictures are still from Louis's dreams. I liked it to add them because they are amazing. And in the next picture, you can see the green color on Luis's clothes. Truly, truly amazing. It's like a drawing. It's amazing. Another clue, another hint is some scenes, mostly when David and Luis are together, are shot from above. Until we finish this series, we don't realize it's actually Adele Rob, astral projecting to spy on them. Another hint on this series is the clothes. See, you can see right now Luis wearing something green because the color of her orbit is green, and in the next picture we can see Adele Rob wearing something blue, a very light blue, but blue, which is the color of, like I've said before, Rob's orbit. Also inside these scenes you can see the color blue, the real color of Rob. Hold on a second. If you can see right now in this picture on the bottom right corner, you can see the real color orbit from Rob, which is blue. A lot of people, they couldn't understand or they couldn't give an explanation why in the mental facility the clothes Adele and Rob wear are always white. It can be several things. First explanation, it can be a visual trick. Everyone has a different color for their orbits, and also they wear clothes related to that color, but on the mental facility they wear white, so we can't tell which are their colors, or we even forget even if we know already. Second explanation, it can be a symbolism. On the mental facility, they start from scratch. Rob and Adele, they don't know each other. They are like canvas. So little by little, that canvas will start to get color or even disappeared in this case. Another one is not even a clue because this scene practically is explaining everything. On this scene, Luis, you can see it right now, but you will be able to see it. Luis tells Adele, "You've changed my life," and Adele says to Luis, "Maybe one day you'll do the same for me." It's right on our eyes. It's on screen. Also, in another scene, Adele Rob gives Luis the diary, the supposed diary she wrote when she was on the mental facility about how astral projecting, how get out from the night terrors, and that way Louise immersed herself into astral projecting. This is very important because it's a type of manipulation Adele Rob tries with Louise, and tries and does it. This scene is very heartbroken in reality because we can see the light bulb change from green, the real color orbit from Louise, the Adams mom, and right now we see how it changed to blue. So here's when Adele starts probably her plan to swap bodies. This scene is when Luis starts to astral projecting, and we see how practically all the screen becomes into a green tone. This is an explanation of when we were seeing David and Luis from above, the screen was turning blue because it was Adele Rob astral projecting, and that's why the screen turns light blue, was turning into blue, because when a person in this series astral projects, the screen turns into the color of the orbit of the person. This picture belongs to the first or second episode. Is Adele laying on her bed, and we thought maybe she's resting or maybe she's taking a rest. No, she was actually astral projecting and she was spying on David and on Louis. If you rewind this video on that picture with Adele with that nightgown, the nightgown was a light blue and the underwear was pink, hinting the body is Adele, but the real soul or the real spirit is Rob. So we are seeing Adele Rob, not the real Adele. This picture belongs when Rob and Adele start to make astral projection together, or I think it's the first time they do together the astral projection, and we can see the real color of their orbits. Rob's is blue, light blue, and Adele's, the real Adele's color is pink. The following pictures we can see their orbits. See the pink and the light blue traveling and doing astral projecting around the Adele's house. This is when Adele teaches Rob how to astral projecting, and this is then for her because he takes advantage of this. Like I said before, we can see on screen Adele telling Louis, when I was younger I had terrible night terrors. This is explaining to us this is not Adele, this is Rob. Adele hasn't night terrors, was Rob all the way. And on this picture we can see Adele Rob saying to her husband, I made dinner. We didn't give this too much attention, but yeah, we should have. Because it was Rob speaking, not Adele. Another sad clue is the fact Adele Rob using DRUGS. Even on the flashback we can see Rob trying to introduce the real Adele to it's EROINE, but the real Adele refuses. So we are seeing Adele Rob using in the present, not the real Adele. Another clue of how or when Rob swaps bodies with Adele is the fact when Rob meets David, he hides his sigh. On this scene when Adele is traumatized by the supposedly death of Rob, we are not seeing the real Adele, we are seeing Rob on Adele's body. That's why she hides like Rob, even the hands is very subtle to how she hides. Adele wouldn't act like that in front of David. Rob, yes, and he did actually. The diary Rob writes, you can read, God, I hate this place, and everyone like Ilsa is Rob's sister, who think is the whole TTT wall with their city life flat in a city tower block. No wonder wanted to get off my face soon as I got back. Rob throwing shade to his own sister, and we can see here the picture we are seeing on screen belongs to a scene after Adele and David throws Rob into the pit. Obviously, David, like a normal person, he has a moral dilemma. They had a discussion, and Adele tells David, I didn't want him to go back to his life, to a city nasty life. We are not seeing Adele speaking, we are seeing Rob, because Rob already did the swapping and the one speaking is Rob with Adele's body, and the one dead is Adele's soul or spirit on Rob's body. The one who David throws is Adele inside the Rob's body. And after this event is why David can see into Adele's eyes. It's not because the trauma or the dilemma, it's because he feels something is not right with Adele. And it's because it's not Adele, it's Rob. It's Adele's body, yes, but not Adele's spirit, Adele's soul. Another detail on the flashbacks when Adele and Rob are in the mental facility, you can tell or you can't, Rob embodies Adele. We can see on the picture Rob saying to Adele, I guess you can get away with that mysterious act when you look like you. Rob is jealous of Adele. The seventh and last episode is crazy, but in this episode, in front of our faces, Rob tells the real Adele, I'll swap you. He's telling her, but obviously she couldn't understand, or maybe she thought he was joking. Even on this scene, when Rob is gonna meet David on Adele's house, when he's traveling on the bus, we can see what he's gonna do. We can see on screen what Rob is thinking. That's what Adele is. An escape from my life. Well, actually, this is from his diary, but he's foreshadowing what he's gonna do with Adele or with the situation. He's mean. He's a really bad person. On this scene, probably Rob decides to kill Adele while they are doing astral project, swap bodies and takes Adele's life. Finally, let's explain the whole series and that ending. First of all, Adele and David fell in love because David was working on Adele's house. Sadly, the fire occurs and Adele's parents didn't make it. Maybe in the novel explains it better, but in the TV series it seems like the fire was provoked by David. That way David could have some money from Adele's heritage. At one point I thought the fire was a plant made by Adele and David to get the insurance from the house and the insurance from the Adele's parents, but no, it wasn't. After the fire, David promises to Adele that he will always take care of her and they get married, or they are gonna get married. Of course, Adele is severely traumatized by the loss of both parents, so this is when she gets into the mental facility and is when she sadly meets Rob. Adele and Rob create a bond. They have a relationship almost like siblings because Rob is gay. And after a while, Adele confesses to Rob she astral projects, she's into astral projecting, and she teaches Rob how to astral project. One detail I forgot is all the flashbacks are with Rob and Adele on screen, never only with Adele. And it's because the flashbacks are from the Rob's point of view, never from Adele, because Adele is dead. All the flashbacks are from Rob's perspective. We can see how the relationship between Adele and Rob goes stronger and deeper, and after a while Adele finishes her treatment at the mental facility. She goes back to her place, that fabulous mansion and that fabulous even castle, and she invites Rob to visit her and David. This invitation from part of Adele is her death certificate, because the moment Rob sees David is the moment he totally fell in love with him and he gets obsessed by him. We already can see and can feel how Rob envies Adele and he feels jealous of her, but when he sees the relationship between Adele and David, how they love each other, how Adele has someone that loves her so much, how he has someone, this fact drives totally crazy to Rob. David needs to go back to, I think it's London, and Adele and Rob are alone on Adele's house. It's the perfect time to Rob, that way he can execute his plan, because David is not in the house and Adele trusts him. Because they already did astral projecting in the mental facility, he tells Adele, come on, let's do astral projecting. We are in your place, we are safe, we are free, and we can do whatever as we want. So on this astral projection is when Rob swaps body. So when they wake up, Adele's body is in reality Rob, and Rob's body is Adele. Rob inside Adele's body kills Adele, who is in Rob's body. So Rob, now inside Adele's body, calls David, oh my god, David, you need to come back here, I need you. And Adele, Rob tells David, look, Rob has had an OD, because we already knew Rob had a big problem with DRUGS. So supposedly he has an OD. Adele, Rob, with the help of David, decide to throw Rob to the pit and forget the problem, and this is when they leave the countryside and they install themselves in London. David and Adele Rob starts a new life in London, but supposedly after 10 years they have a big problem in the marriage, so David starts an affair with Louise. Adele Rob knows about this relationship thanks to the astral projecting. She realizes his husband David has fallen in love with Louise, so Adele Rob makes another plan. Not only that, Adele Rob knows Louise has been researching about Adele. She knows she's in trouble, so she makes Louise think Adele is gonna to unalive herself. She then calls or texts Louise, look, Louise, I'm gonna end everything because David doesn't love me. He loves you. I thought you were my friend, so I'm gonna finish everything. When you are seeing this scene at the final episode, you are truly thinking it's Adele who is gonna unalive herself. So Adele writes a goodbye note, and we can see Louise approaching her house. Adele provokes a fire, so that's why we thought maybe Adele was linked with the first fire. So Louise is not capable to go inside the house to help Adele. Louise knows how to astral project because Adele Robb teaches her. It's everything part of her plan. We have Louise at the front door of Adele's and David's house astral projecting, and Adele at the same time astral projecting. So she swap again bodies. So right now we have Louise on Adele's body and we got Rob in Louise's body. The fire kills Adele. In reality, Louise has been killed by the fire. And we can see Rob inside Louise. She goes back to her place. She starts to act like Louise. The pronunciation in front of the mirror, and I couldn't add the picture about that pigeon on her place. That could be Adele's soul inside the pigeon. The following day, Louise Robb needs to pick up Adam. You can see Adam on the picture. And the very first second Adam sees her mom, he knows that woman is not her mom. Louise Robb married with David. That's what he wanted. And at the end of the series, we got this terrifying, horrible shoot how Louise Robb looks to Adam, and actually in the novel Louise Robb kills Adam because he doesn't like kids. He didn't like even his own nieces and cousins. So the whole time was robbing Louis' body, then robbing Adele's body the last 10 years, and we only could see the real Adele on the flashback on the mental facility and when she's with David on the mansion with Rob, but always in Rob's perspective. Always. We demand justice for Adele and for Adam because it's heartbreaking. Adam knows this is not Louise, this is not her mama, but he can't say anything because who is gonna believe a little kid saying, that's not my mom, it's her body but no, not her soul. It's truly heartbreaking, and for Adele as well because she trusted Rob and Rob took advantage of her kindness and her empathy. It's really, really sad. But the plot twist is mind-blowing. Well, this is a wrap. Thanks a lot for watching. Please don't forget to like, to subscribe, to comment, and to share the video. See you, hear you, or read you in the next video, and take care.